Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. I would like to remind again about our basic rules for having a smooth virtual meeting session. First, participants are required to mute your microphone, especially during the presentation by our speaker. If you have any question, please use the chat function and moderator will facilitate you from there during the Q&A session. Turn on the microphone once you receive a signal from the moderator to speak and communicate with the speakers. And please notify the host, Mr. Zai from Unit 10 for any technical problems or audio or network connectivity. If you encounter any issues from your side, please exit and re-enter the meeting link given.
Lebih 500. So Datuk kat sini, keadaan kat sini, siapa yang besar? RE lagi besar daripada disposal. Betul tak? RE lagi besar daripada disposal. Kalau RE lagi besar daripada disposal, so what happen is it balancing charge or balancing allowance class? It will be balancing allowance because RE more than disposal. So this 500 that we calculate before this, okay, we consider as balancing allowance. Okay, some sort like loss on disposal. Okay, kita cari dia.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. We are honored to welcome all participants and honorable speaker to the 4th Smart Grid Talk Show, Smart Grid Potential Areas of Research. Thank you for being here with us. We hope the Smart Grid Talk Show become a platform for us to share information and knowledge from panel of experts for the benefits of the society. We are so lucky to have Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. M.A. Hanan, to be with us for today's talk show. Without further ado, please welcome Yang Berbahagia Prof. Hanan to start the program. Please welcome Prof. Hanan.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. Thank you very much to the organizer, especially the MITE, University Telangana National, UNIDO, for inviting me today for the talk about Smart Grid Potential Research area. So without further ado, I'll start my talking on Smart Grid Potential Area of Research. In this talk today, I have splitted the talk into three parts. One is the Smart Grid details explanation. What is Smart Grid, how it is operated, and advantage, disadvantage are the linked with the Smart Grid. Then the details I will explain about the potential area of the research. What are the research at the moment around the world on smart grids are conducting and what's supposed to will conduct in future. Then the third section, I will explain a little bit of our research which is related to smart grid, not exactly grid, but microgrid, electric vehicle and energy storage system that are related to smart grid. So you can please be with me during the whole talk, and I'll try to share my best about the smart grid and the future research of the smart grid or the concurrent research on the smart grid. Okay, this is the outline. I just talk about smart grid details, the potential area of research, and some of my research on electric vehicle, microgrid, and energy storage system related to smart grid. Okay, please, next. About the smart grid, we know about electrical grid, then the electrical grid is supposed to be smart grid. So what is that? So then what is the target for the smart grids? And what is the advantages of the smart grids? So accordingly, they are saying that next generation power grid is based on evaluation of communication networking infrastructure integrated into the electrical grid. At the moment, or still now, we have a huge electrical grid that enhancing data exchange and automated energy management system. To facilitate the flexibility of the system, the resilience of the system, sustainability of the electric system, scalability, cost effectiveness, one of the vital points on the smart grid, interoperability and interaction of the participating entities. So including all these advantages, this is called smart grid. Thus the smart grid is entitled to the next generation power distribution network. So still we have a distribution from long. So this smart grid will benefit a lot. It will be flexible, it will be cost effective, it will be scalable, it will be so many advantages there. So the smart grid, this is another definition of the smart grid, the taxonomy of the smart grid. Smart grid is consist of 3 layers usually. So the bottom layers is about the power layer, then communication layer, then smart grid application layer. In the power layer, the lot of activities of the power sources like the utility companies who are generating power, then the transmission, then distribution, then the consumer side, the housing and building energy management system, net building energy management system, zero building energy management system, then distributed energy systems. Today, smart grid is very close to explain the distributed energy resources, like all the renewables are connecting, all the EVs are collecting, and many other renewable sources are collecting in the power layer, in the power grids. So small scale power also connected in the microgrid and then grid. Not like previously, all the power coming from high tension to the low tension. Today, smart grid is connecting all the powers from the high tension, even the low tension, and in central, integrated into the central. In between, it has communication layer. One of the very, please earlier slide, not now. Yeah, communication layer. In the communication layer is a bidirectional communication. It communicates the data dissemination into the power layer and the consumer layer, that is application layer. So one of the vital point of the smart grid is the communication layer. Like different communication it has a LAN, it has a local area network, it has a wide area network, it has a fixed area network, and it has a home area network, respective area of the power sectors. And then application, smart grid, number of smart grid applications is there, like smart metering, both side, in the generation side and the distribution side and the consumer side. Then many other applications are there. Every day, new innovation on the application are adding on the application layer of the smart grid. So the term smart grid is not a single term, it's a many features included. Like smart is not a just single definition. It is the definition of the sources, it is definition of the communication, different type of communication, the security, data entry, big data, all these are there. And application, number of application is there. The demand response, then the energy storage, renewable integration, the metering, all are very helpful to the consumers. That is, in whole, as a whole, it calls smart grid. So the definition of the smart grid is not just a communication layer, not just a power layer, not just a application layer. So in all integrated things is the smart grid. So smart grid is very helpful these days for future power dissemination, power management, and cost effective. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is one of the scenario of smart grid. The smart grid look like where you can see the microgrid, where you can see the consumer distribution, transmission, and all network are contact in a network. The circle, the blue lines, yeah, circle, the green lines. This is the communication line. So smart grid puts the information and communication technology into the electrical grid for power generation, transmission, distribution, which making the system cleaner, safe, more reliable and efficient. Today, energy efficiency is one of the vital point of the smart grid. Again, smart grid integrate the advanced sensing technology. We can see there are some sensing systems and also control methods, integrated communication technologies or platform are in the smart grid. So this is look like a smart grid. All are interrelated from top to bottom, bottom to top. But initially, existing power system, we have a high tension to low tension. All the communication high tension to low tension. But smart grid is called, the communication is a centralized communication, is communicate from the consumers to the power generators. Okay, next please. Okay, if we notice the pyramid, it has a two definition of the pyramid. One of the priorities of the smart grid, and in future, what will be the priority for the smart grid in the future? We can see in the bottom, the foundation layer. These are the existing system. We have a steel communication system that communicate the communication technologies, the circuit technologies, telecommunication, IT infrastructure. Then we have a fundamental application of a smart grid, the metering system, smart metering, then we have distribution automation, distribution management, and substation. And in the pyramid, at the peak of the pyramid, we can see as you're going far, the advancement is coming, like home and area network, plug-in vehicle, energy storage, distribution energy management and system. Then at the top is demand response, microgrid, and operational efficiency, and in the future microgrid. So what's supposed to be the future microgrid? The initial, at the moment, microgrid is more on utility base. The grid, smart grid, is more on utility base. The utility people are involving in smart grid for monitoring, supplying, taking care, all these things. But in future, there are two sides. You can see the yellow highlighted part. The yellow highlighted parts are the customer side parts. So in future, the grid is customer side also involved in the grid, like distribution, like distributed power generation, like EV, like the others, microgrid, all are involved. So you can see at the top, in future, it is 50-50. Utility involvement and the customer involvement is 50-50, which will make is very easier to disseminate data each other for their benefits, for the customer benefit, for the utility benefits. Click, please. Click, you can see. Can you please click? Yeah, and another click. Okay, we can see two areas of the smart grid in this pyramid. So the priorities of the smart grid is demand response at the moment. Very not unnecessary. You can generate the power. The power what we have, if you can respond it according to the demand, if you can manage it according to the demand. So demand response is one of the very important parameters or features of the smart grid. Electric storage around the world, there are storage system. Electric storage is booming research and potential activities on a smart grid. Electric transportation. Many of the cities now, they are using electric bus. Like European Union, they are using whole city, they are using electric bus or fuel cell bus. So electric transportation, EV, hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in electric vehicle, all these are very important because they are charging and discharging from the grid. So it is one of the top priority to be a smart grid. And according to National Institute of Standard and Technology, America, they also are focusing on the communication technologies on the smart grid, like advanced metering. What we have at the moment also in Malacca, advanced metering infrastructure, AMI, distribution grid management, the cyber security, the big data, the cyber attacks, network communication, all are the priorities of the smart grid today. Today, smart grid must have to have cyber security because it is the threat for the homeland security also. Electricity is one of the threat. If you cannot maintain or control, it is one of the threat of the homeland security as well. That's why the communication part is one of the very vital part for a grid to be smart. Yeah. So these are the priorities, and we can see at the top the consumers and the utility, almost 50-50 involvement to be a smart grid. Next, please. Okay, in this slide, we can see that there are some smart grid capabilities. What a smart grid can do. So we can see that smart grid has advanced interoperability among the other entities because grid is related with the source and the consumers. So in between there are a number of entities. So it has advanced interoperability among the entities and parts of the power grid. It has improved grid management and optimized operation, improved the situational awareness and communication in the electric vehicles. Then carbon emission. Today, one of the hot topics of the carbon emission from the electricity. The conventional power are generating huge carbon, right, on the pollution. So how we can reduce? That's why our renewable energy is emphasized or subsidized. So as a smart grid is more on the integration of all the benefits or all the features or functionalities like demand response, advanced tool, islanding, optimized distribution asset, then and self-healing system from the cyber attack and other things, then sensing system is integrated things for a distribution side, transmission side, and any side of the grid. So these are the smart grid capabilities. Next, please. Okay, 2-3 slide, I will explain about the smart grid communication network. So as I said, that a smart grid basically consists of 3 layers: power layer, communication layer, and the application layer. So a communication layer is a bidirectional operation of the communication layer. It communicates with the sources, it communicates with the consumer, load or the applications. We can see here the smart grid network that can support all the identified functionalities. So what is that? Advanced metering infrastructure, the demand response, electric vehicles, wide area situational awareness, distributed energy resources and storage, distribution grid management. These are the application layer. These are the device in the application layer, either in the customer side or in the generator side or in between. So it's very important because at the moment, what is your demand? You have to have informed to the generators. That's why demand response is very important to coordinate together. Then electric vehicle. Today, electric vehicle is very important because electric vehicle also can supply power to the grid, G to V, V to G. So there are many charging, discharging power from the electric vehicle. I have seen some research are going on in China. So for example, a university like UNITEN, every day we have 500 or 2000 car vehicle. When you come to the office, we bring and we are in the vehicle. So in park somewhere, whole day the vehicle ideally sitting. So if you have a charge in that period, you can discharge to the grid. So that's why many research are going on. Electric vehicle, distributed energy resources, and also management. Please, next slide. And we can see in the scenario how communication network for smart grid communicate with the different parts of the power layer. In the consumption layer, the building, today all the building energy management system are very important. And I can say in America and in European Union, they have recently passed a building energy management legislation in their country. So every building is supposed to have building management system. We can see. So, and the communication, the home area network hand is working in the building energy management system or the consumer side. So we can see microgrid is there, electric vehicles is there, distributed generators are there, then distribution grid there. We have a neighbor area network connecting the distribution grid. Then we have a power transmission grid. We have wide area network for the transmission, coordinating transmission consumer side and the generator side, and the central control system, that is where backhaul network or communicating the power generators. So this is the communication between the communication layer and the generating layer, even the application layers. Next slide, please. Next, please. Yeah, this is some standard for the communication layers. So basically my research is not on communication, on energy and power applications. Mostly I'm working on energy storage, renewable integration, all these things. But still, I highlight here some of the communication involvement in the smart grid, communication features involvement in the smart grid. Accordingly, they have number of standards for smart grid. For individual features or enablers, it has a standard. The IEC, IEEE, and many other standardized organizations, they have an individual standard for these respective features or enablings or functionalities. Like substation, they have a IEC standard. Like wind turbine, they have a standard. Like distributed energy resources, it has some standard. So these are the standards. So they already have a measures or map or guide or direction to how we can control, how we can manage the transformer, wind turbine, all the features of the smart grid. So it is easier for us to maintain the smart grid or develop a smart grid. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the slide. I want to say some interrelation between the microgrid and the grid interaction, where microgrid basically is the helping the smart grid to improve the system economics, the operation, the availability, and as because microgrid is very near to the load or consumer, so it reduces the conductor size and the overall the amount of conductor, improve the availability, improving the stability, and also in terms of tool strategy and techniques, it has a net metering system, which is bidirectional power flow. It can send information to the consumer, it can send information to the utility and the respective places. Peak shaving and advanced communication and control and demand response. These are the related microgrid to the grid interaction. So today, many of the country or the research or the utilities, they are focusing on the microgrid because the controlling microgrid is easier than the huge transmission or distribution grid, lines. Okay, next please. Yeah, this is some of the standard of smart grid. This is just a few. There are a few pages actually, 2-3 pages for respective standard on respective application. For example, building of automation. For example, substation automation. For example, the phasor measurement unit. For example, energy storage or energy management system. So already the electrical society or already has developed the standardizing organization already developed some standard that you can measure. We can get instruction or guidance from their standard how we can operate the smart grid, all these applications. Yeah. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, this is similar to this standard. National Institute of Standard and Technology in America, they have a priority action plans. So accordingly, they have developed or they have selected some standard of their priority of the works for the smart grid. For example, electric storage interconnection. Many grids now are interconnecting the energy storage, the electric storage. So it has some specific standard. So we have to maintain that thing to be the grid to be smart. Yeah. So respective features or there are a number of applications. I just included here 10 priority actions plan. So you can see these are the action plans. America or National Institute of Standard and Technology at the moment are taking care under different standard, following different standard guideline. Okay, next please. Okay, now onward we will explain about the potential research at the moment and in the future. So we can see this is the smart grid keyword cluster. From the cloud, we can see what are the involvement, what are the features or functionalities involved in the smart grid. Also, we can consider what are the research to be in the smart grid in future. So you can see here there are some cluster. For example, the yellow cluster is a smart grid dealing with the microgrid, distributed generators, then some control, energy storage, voltage regulator, and these are all these things are this related to the smart grid. We cannot. Smart grid is part of the microgrid is a part of the smart grid. DG is the part of the smart grid. So controlling microgrid, interfacing microgrid, controlling DG, operating DG this is the involved with the microgrid. So under this yellow cluster, we can see a lot of involvement. This is part of the microgrid. Then you can see the green cluster. In the green cluster, more on focus the communication technology in between the layer. So communication technology, communications system, data security, then energy security, the big data, data monitoring. All these are the very much important feature for the smart grid. You can see in the green cluster. Then you can see in the pink cluster, there are some EV charging, discharging, electric circuits there. There are some automation is there. So this is the involvement. This is the parameters are involved in the smart grid. Then you can see the blue cluster. In the blue cluster, the optimization there, optimization problem there, electric utilities also there, peak load shaving, industry relation of the smart grid, and algorithms. This is one of the very vital soft skill development on the smart grid, like optimization methods, optimization algorithm. So the different algorithm are developing at the moment, already developed, some are in process in developing for peak load shaving, for electrical price, that is market analysis, for many other algorithms, and we are developing under this cluster. And finally, you can see one more cluster is the red cluster: energy management system, energy storage, multi-agent system, electrical grids, renewable sources, fossil conventional power, electricity, so renewable energies. So all these are the keyword for the smart grid. So smart grid is a huge involvement, like the social thing, communication thing, technological thing, so conventional things, many other things are involved. So people are focusing all this area for the grid, for the electrical grid to be smart. Yeah, let's see what are the research on the potential for smart grid people are conducting. Next slide, please. Okay, if we notice one of the very good research institute, MIT, they have an institute like Future of the Electric Grid under the MIT, the great university. So they are focusing like basic energy science, developing world, power distribution and energy storage, climate change and environment, nuclear energy, energy efficiency, renewable energy intake, policy and economics, conventional energy. So all they are focusing today. So this is the part of this grid. If we can maintain the climate, if you can maintain the energy efficiency at our desired level, that the grid is supposed to be smart. Yeah, this is their recent research they're conducting. Then next, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Okay. We'll show this slide later. This is one of the URL. I want to show some video in Australia. So I'll show you later. In this video, how they interrelated the DERs, energy storage, the vehicle transporting system, the renewable energy generation into the smart grid. There's some conflict. I'll show this video later, I think. So we'll speak later. And there are so many potential research on the smart grid, like grid reliability. So the aging assets, modeling, forecasting, and calculating is one of the research. Environmental research on the grid, like global climate concern, like global climate concerns means how much decarbonization are happening at the moment, and what's supposed to do to reduce the climate effect, to reduce the carbon emission, and what are the things we can initiate state mandates for the green power, how we can include number of green powers, because at the moment the grid, it has already have some power. So if we add some green power or renewable power or distributed power in the grid, we must have to synchronize this thing. So number of things have to be researched. At the moment they're synchronizing, but to do synchronizing, then many research are still going on. Energy security, as I said, energy security, one of the important features for the smart grids, because it is related with the homeland security and also dependence on the foreign fuel. Those who has conventional fossil fuel, then we have to defend. Then how to manage this thing, or what's supposed to do for increasing the renewable energy generation to address the foreign fuel or conventional fossil. Then many others, customer choices, yeah, for flexibility, how we can make the consumers flexibility. Next slide, please. There is some research on going and potential also for technology advancement like energy demand. So we must have to focus what are the energy supposed to demand. We cannot install randomly power generators because we must have to coordinate this with the demand response, with the schedule. Yeah. Then convergence of IT, telecoms, and electricity market, new product and solution, the capital investment in the smart grid technologies. So there are a number of areas still people are focusing, and in future they will develop for the smart grid. And also in case of efficiency, as because of integration is there, multiple integration point for intelligent grid software and the hardware for submission to the consumer. Today there are some issues of software defined smart grid. So the smart grid appliances, the features or the functionalities we have, it is operated by the software, by the algorithms, by the optimization techniques. Okay. Then an embedded sensor and monitoring capabilities. So many research are going on this thing. Bidirectional communication of the communication layers. So under the communication layer, number of research are there. The renewable energy sources and distributed power generation, storage integration, also one of the focus area for the future research or potential research. Next slide, please. Yeah. There are some other driving factor for the smart grid: advanced customer service, robust and simple energy management system. Many utilities are working on energy management system. Still, there are some other research need to be conducted, or people are conducting on energy management. How we can manage the energy of the grid, yeah, the smartest way. There are some of the research are going on, and future will be conducted. Smart homes, as I said, smart home or building energy management system or home energy management system, one of the priorities for smart grid, because grid power is utilized by the consumers like building. Yeah, so there are some zero building, there are some net zero buildings. So many legislations are in process, or some of the already developed some legislation. We must have smart homes or energy sustainable energy based buildings. Yeah, new pricing model and tariffs, the market model. Many research are going on the market model. Yeah, then infrastructure reliability and the security, disaster tolerant system, is because we can see in the grid, especially in the communication layer, there are some number of attacks. Many places are happening. So attack, we have to filtering attack. We need to have some process or methods to filter out the attack to save from the disaster. Yeah. Auto response system to the disturbances, and of course the power quality. Power quality is one of the big event last few years, last 20 years. So the days passing on, advanced or the sensitive loads are coming in, advanced or sensitive industries are developing. So for their sensitive loads and sensitive issues of power, they have to have voltage sag free, spike free, and interruption free. So then it's very good quality of power. So there are some research still going on to how we can develop the best quality of the power, because we know in Malaysia, even Malaysia is a huge semiconductor exporter country in Japan and America. So in many semiconductor industry, every year they lost some huge amount of money due to the power quality problems. Because when they develop some foil or some processor or some other cell or some other electronic device, if there is some variation of the power, it becomes spoiled. So they have to lose whole chain of the production. Then they lost a huge due to the power quality. So this is one of the important features in the next coming years for, that is 21st century, for to be smart grid, or is the potential area of the smart grid. Next, please. Yeah, this is some application site potential area for the smart grid research. Demand response, I explained a bit earlier. Demand response is one of the very important feature for the smart grid. How much you have demand, accordingly you have to manage your power, generate your power, distribute your power. So demand response modeling is calculation algorithms, one of the good application or functionalities for the smart grid. Energy storage. We know energy storage is the very potential research focus today for sustainable grid. There is smart grid. In America, especially in Australia, these days Tesla, they have generated or they have developed 100 megawatt energy storage system interconnected with the grid. 102 megawatts. So, and many other form of megawatt storage system at the moment around the world is there. So I'll speak about this energy storage later, what we are doing on the energy storage at the moment in Malaysia, especially our research. I'll talk about this thing later. Anyway, home and area networks, of course, communication layer, there are some number of research going on, and advanced, there are some other issues question coming from Professor Izham. I'll address this later if I can. So advanced metering infrastructure, AMI. So the advanced metering is still there. They are disseminating data either way to the consumer or to the utility, but still so researchers are developing some new algorithm for advanced metering. Integrated distributed generation is one of the very good focus, because this is nowadays power grid or the smart grid is a decentralized grid, decentralized into centralized grid. Then so distributed power is one of the important feature for the smart grid. Advanced utility control, then the transportation, advanced transportation like smart plug-in vehicle charging, even discharging. Yeah, so these are the potential research for the smart grid today. Let's next slide. Is some other focus for smart grid like information technology, embedded system for power electronics. The power electronics, how it is control the smart grid features, monitoring and control system, decision support system, the AI. Many AI are working, artificial intelligence are working on this layer, on this technology. Then communication technology, internet service. We know about the IoT of the energy. People say Internet of Energy, then energy internets. All are in the communication layers. Number of research are going on this layer as well. Then next, please. Okay, this is about the economics, market, and social aspect. Yeah. So also we have many people are at the moment developing the market model, how best tariff we can provide to the consumers. So the market modeling, where they are focusing with the pricing, uncertainties, supplying utilities all together. So there are some lot of modeling people are working together. Then dense populated versus sparsely populated regions, some modeling, some research. Then okay, these are the research at the moment are working for the economic, market, and social aspect. Next slide, please. Okay, this is one of the slides. This is not about the research, but I want to highlight in Germany, in European Union, in Japan, in Korea, in America, in SIGRI, they have a number of standards and roadmap already they have provided for the standard. Malaysia, still we have some roadmap for smart grid or the grid. But if we can benchmark with other utilities or other standard or other roadmap, then it will be very, because they are doing the updated information, updated research or updated applications. Yeah, that's why this is we must have to relate or benchmark our system with the major grid standardized roadmap or systems. Okay, these are just few for mapping or benchmarking. Next slide, please. Yeah, there are some other research area also for the smart grid in future, the distributed operation and the control, and the active distribution network, especially the distribution local generation and the energy storage. Then the communication, integrated communication from DG microgrid, then the grid and the consumers. And many features are there. So integrated communication is one of the research. Advanced efficient load, the flexibility and robustness. Yeah, robustness of everywhere. Still people are improving for communication layer, for application layer, for all layer. Yeah, robustness. System is there, but for cost effective and robustness, still there are research going on. And in future also will be conducted. Okay. Sorry. Next slide, please. Okay, there are some other research area for tomorrow's smart grid. I have explained this thing. This is the distributed generation of all renewable powers like solar, wind, fossil fuel cell, batteries, energy storage. I just highlighted a little bit about the energy storage, batteries also, fuel cell. If you notice that European Union, all the town service, the bus especially, are run by the fuel cell. Wind turbine is very popular. The wind power and solar, we all this know. But the issue is about how to integrate. Integrating is not problem. Many technology already developed, but this depend on the size of the grid, depend on the grid offload or peak load or the load situation or the grid situation. So individual grid has some individual situation to integrate all these renewables. So for example, we want to connect a system in Uniten or some microgrid, we have to consider the characteristics of the microgrid to integrate the solar power or energy storage in the Uniten microgrid level. So that's why many research still are focusing or going on this renewable integration. And again, the smart grid management, one of the issue, energy management, smart grid power management, and real-time monitoring system. Today, there are some virtual power point is there, transmission distribution automation, demand response, and also broadband over all lines there. This is about the grid management, how we can manage grid power from the top to the bottom, from the source to the consumers. And again, about the customer related research, we have a smart meter, AMI. At the moment, Malacca, we have installed few meters, but the smart meter still, people are developing on the smart meters. They are defining, they are using some software on the smart meter and some new algorithm for smart meters to be more flexible, more robust for data dissemination, either side, consumer side or the resource side. And the smart building and equipment building, as I said, building is one statistics I want to. Recently, I published one paper in the building energy management system in IEEE Access. The paper title is Building Home Energy Management System in IEEE Access. So they in the review we have come out some information that 40% power of the total utility are consumed by the building. 40% power. So if we can manage the 40% powers, then we can. So many research are going on for the building energy management system, smart building, zero energy building, net energy building. So we can save a lot of powers, actually, lot of powers, and we can manage the power for the buildings. Smart appliances, The plug-in vehicles, all type of vehicles, hybrid vehicle, electric vehicle, plug-in vehicles are the customer side management system. We can organize this thing. Yeah, so just now I said, when you need charging, you just charge it, and you after the driving, if you have extra charge, you can discharge to the grid as well. Many, that is V2G. Many people are working on the V2G. So one of the good research area, V2G, G2V, all this thing. Voltage regulation, from the long time we are working on the voltage regulation. Still, there are some research on voltage regulation. So these are the tomorrow's research still to be going on. Okay. Next, please. Okay, I said these are the keywords I searched from the IEEE transactions few days. These are the research at the moment. Just a few research are going on at the moment, like contingency analysis for smart grid, the model-based framework for enhanced cyber physical smart grid security, cyber security. There are a number of events or research are going on the cyber security for the smart grid. Maturity model, scalable data aggregation model are also developing. Smart cyber security towards energy efficient smart grid, then EV in smart grid, charging, discharging, V2G, G2V, algorithm for the distributed energy storage, machine learning for energy management system model for smart grid, software defined smart grid. Software defined smart grid, one of the latest research, I think. So, for example, you have some processor for controlling some parameters. For example, smart meter, AMI. So this in the processor you have some algorithm that you have developed few years back. Today you are thinking that it's supposed to be improved and robust. That's you modified the algorithm. Then again you can download with the same meter. Then with the same meter, and it will be giving some new features or advanced or robust activities. So that's why software-defined grid smart grid application is one of the very good research communication people are doing on. Algorithm for dynamic traffic flow, blockchain-based secure demand response smart grid, data aggregation, IoT network, IoT, IoE, ET, actually EI enable smart grid, energy internet enable smart grid, then cyber physical security smart grid, then automatic cyber attack filtering, one of the very potential research at the moment to resolve or to solve the cyber attacking. Yeah, so a lot of hacking at the moment is happening. To save from the hackings or the attack, there are many methods are developing, like filtering and other intelligent method as well. So this is the some of the research, just a few some of the research at the moment are conducting on smart grid. Yeah. Okay, so these are the researches and potential area of the smart grid around the world at the moment are focusing. Some of the question already, some of the asking is already there. Maybe after this session, I'll try myself to reply the question. We have few slides about our research. Please next. Okay, one of the slides is about the America smart grid vision. What people are doing, what American people or New York people are doing for the, for the smart grid activities. So they're developing some policies on the sustainability, reliability, and availability or affordability, and also they are considering many benefits for this. Yeah. So they are developing some policy for the smart grid. And at the moment, Malaysia, we have some policy for smart grid, definitely, but some of the features we still need to include in the smart grid. As I said, many enablers are there, many functionalities are there, still including in the smart grid. So the definition of the smart grid is not finished yet. Every day is coming some features there. That's why we have to also modify, I think, modify our smart grid roadmap visions also, roadmap, considering the affordability, sustainability, reliability, social market, and features thing. Next, please. Okay, I just want to share some of our research that is not directly the grid, but it is very much related with the grid, because Smart grid or the grid is the relation of the many features from the customer side, from the source side, or in between. So we can notice here one of the these diagram. We can see there are some in this diagram. We have developed 5 microgrid. 5 microgrid. Each microgrid, it has a 5 DER, distribution energy resources, a distributed generator. So that means 25 distributed generator we have modeled here to develop 50 megawatt power. So this 50 megawatt power to supply 50 megawatt demand. Then accordingly we have developed some optimal or optimization algorithm. For example, in 50 DER, when supposed to supply in 24 hours, they had time. Our powertrain is different, offload and peak load, right? So at the very first in the morning, like 1 a.m., we can see some of the our demand is less. 2 a.m. our demand is less, and when it is 9 a.m. our demand is increasing. 10 is most, 12, 13, 14, 15, 4 p.m. our demand is gradually reducing. So this is the trend of offload and peak load. So what the power generation we have here 50 distributed generator of 5 microgrid. So how we can schedule here? We can see here in 1 hour, few microgrids are connected, a few power sources are connected. In 5 a.m., very first morning, just a few DER is connected, and in the 11 or 10 maximum sources are connected. So the way we can make a schedule. That's why we develop a scheduling controller using few optimization algorithm for comparative analysis, and we have received number of publication from very good journals. Means that what is something new there. So next please. So we can see here we have given some comparative analysis for those where there is no microgrid. We have to depend only on the electric grid. What is the pattern of 24 hours power consumption? We can notice here the black waveform. Then if we have a microgrid, the blue waveform, still you can see, but if we optimize the microgrid, what time, because different microgrid, it has some different nature. Some are the PV based, some are the wind based, some are the other based. Yeah, that's why if we can optimize the constraint of the microgrid and optimize it, then we can notice that the optimized microgrid is very less power. The demand is they optimize the power. Then in the next slide, we can see how much power we can save from optimized microgrid. This is part of the grid. If you can save some power, it is good for us. And another features and how much carbon we can reduce. How much carbon CO2 we can reduce using some optimized technique in the microgrid, which after then will connect to the grid. So we can see here the how much emission we can reduce. Yeah, the small from almost half emission we can reduce using optimization techniques. This is one of the research we have gone through. Like we have developed the microgrid model and virtual power plant to save the energy and for them emission reduction. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, there is another research we have conducted. Yeah, please. Another research we have conducted for vehicle application. We know most of the vehicle like HEV or EV or plug-in vehicle. So the vehicle mostly they use lithium-ion battery at the moment. Mostly, so lithium-ion battery is a density and all the electrical characteristics of the battery is very good performance. That's why people are preferring the lithium-ion battery. But the problem with the battery, lithium is a small amount of power battery. So in a vehicle, it needs a bundle of batteries supposed to connect series. Yeah. So in this our modeling and prototype, we have connected some 100 batteries. We have connected 90 batteries because at least 88 batteries or 80 batteries can run a vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle. So the problem of the battery for the EV, when you charge and discharge, especially when it is overcharged and undercharged, the battery characteristics, battery cannot sustain with the undercharge. This battery, lithium-ion battery, so even in the overcharge, when it is overcharged and undercharged, it cannot sustain. So if it is chronological overcharge or sometime undercharge, then it is dying. As because number of batteries connected in series, when one battery die, other or the neighboring battery also die. So in chronologically, many batteries is died. At the end, they cannot supply reliable power. So they have not a portion. That's why people are now focusing on how we can manage the individual cell voltage of the battery. Like if you have 100 batteries, 100 battery cell, how we can monitor, how you can maintain. That's why cell balancing is there. So we have developed here on microcontroller based monitoring system. In the microcontroller, we have developed some fuzzy logic, or we have tested in different algorithm like PI algorithm, like fuzzy logic algorithm. Then also we optimize the fuzzy errors or PI parameters for better performance. Then only if any battery is short of power, then additional power supplied to the battery. If any battery is overcharged, then the battery is discharged instantly from somewhere. So the way we can maintain every 100 cell monitoring always. So there's some monitoring IC. The monitoring IC is controlling every time which battery is what is the power. So if you can maintain this, we have to have longevity and SOC maintained for the battery for the better performance of the vehicle. Okay, so we can notice that the blue waveform is somehow, you can see the cell 1 is undercharged and cell 5 is overcharged, but in the green, the labeled green waveform, we can see it is maintained more or less same charge. If you can maintain the same charge, the performance of the battery will be high, longevity will be increased, and SOC will be maintained. At the end, it is related to the grid, so grid will be maintained. Good. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, there is another research we have integrated. This is at the moment it is modeling level, but this research we converted into the prototype in our next project. So it's a battery storage in microgrid application. You can see number of D are there, distributed generators are there, DG are there, also energy storage there. So we have shown some relation when supposed to energy storage charge, when supposed to energy storage discharge to the load, individual load or external load, or discharge to the grid. Sometimes we need to charge from the grid. So all these scenario, how it can charging from the DC, how it can charge from the grid, how it can discharge from the grid, how it can discharge to the local load. So accordingly, we have developed a controller, fuzzy based optimized controller. So we have used some fuzzy logic here, fuzzy logic controller here, and also we optimize the fuzzy functions or fuzzy parameters there to get the optimal value of connecting and disconnecting, charging and discharging, considering temperature, energy storage, voltage, current parameter, humidity, many other features of the system. Okay, next please. So this is some of the scenario for microgrid battery energy storage, when supposed to charge, when discharge, when grid off grid or on grid, and what's supposed to SOC. So this is the few results we have obtained. Accordingly, we published many papers. I just put some few papers related to this project. And okay, then we have another project. I think the last project related to the grid or smart grid. Please, next. Okay, this is I think we are very close to end our smart grid future research description or talk. I want to share this research related to the smart grid or related to the grid. At the moment, we have a very good project from the Ministry of Higher Education under the LRGS scheme. So we received 2.74 million, and this project is collaborating with our collaborator from TNBR. They are giving additional 2 million of funding, altogether almost 5 million funding under this project. At the moment, the project is in process of installation at Unit 10 to be connected to the grid. So we are claiming this project is connected to the grid through microgrid to the grid, considering many other features, and we are expecting this is the connection. This is the way of smart grid process. Like in this research, we have developed or still developing some number of algorithms for when supposed to charge, when supposed to discharge, how discharge, when's maintaining the scheduling controller, optimized scheduling controller, sizing of the energy storage, what's supposed to be the convenient, the best or optimal size for the microgrid or connected to the grid. And also we are developing some safety and protections rules and some algorithm for this maintaining energy storage to be safe related to grid connection. And also we are developing some power quality monitoring algorithm or monitoring feature or GUI or algorithms to maintain the power, the energy storage power connected to the grid. And one of the features we are discussing here, energy internet for ESS in microgrid data dissemination. Yeah, so Internet of Energy, the best way we can display the data of the energy storage, and also from the smart grid because it's connected to the grid. And at the very last, we are developing some energy storage policy recommendation. We'll throw some the respective body and considering what is the behavior of the energy storage and the social impact for the using energy storage. Yeah, as I said, the smart grid is energy storage integration is part of the smart grid at the moment. Many smart grid also integrating this energy storage to maintain their energy, to manage their energy. So in Malaysia, we are taking some initiative to develop the smart grid theoretically, fundamentally, and also some applied there. This is one of the applied and theoretical project. At the end, 500 megawatt energy storage, we will connect to the grid and we'll see how the algorithms are working, how we can explain or disseminate the data either way, bidirectionally, or how the virtual power plants are planning. Yeah, so next day or future, we can plan to develop huge energy storage or any other renewable energy integration into the smart grid. Yeah, so there are some few publications for our project. This is LRGS project. We already have numbers, very good publication. So this publication, we can get some idea from this thing. So this is one of our project where we are focusing on decarbonization, how much carbon we can reduce using energy storage system, or this template or this formulation also we can use any other renewable energy integration, whether how much carbon we can reduce using PV or other form of renewable energy, EV. So this is one of the good project. I think once it is implemented, hopefully we'll get some more benefit from the project. So at the moment, this is the research we are conducting related to smart grid. Overall, I have explained a number of research potential for the smart grid, and I have shown the one slide for the clouds. Yeah, what are the smart grid potentials, involvement, potential functionalities in environment, for example, microgrid, for example, DZ, for example, communication, for example, cybersecurity, for example, many others. So we explained this. So with this, all the potential of research, still you can search from the URL, from the many others the big developed smart grid systems. What are the research need to be conducted for us in Malaysia? We can focus that also. So with that, I think, next please. I think with that I can finish my explanation or talk on smart grid and its potential area and part of my areas of research. Thank you very much for listening. Waiting for the questions.
Thank you,
Thank
Prof.
you.
Thank you, Prof. For insightful information.
Thank you.
Now we shall have the brief Q&A session.
Please.
All right. We start from this question. For Malaysia, Prof, what would be the key technology that Malaysian researchers should focus on?
Again, please, I cannot hear you properly. Can you be louder, please?
For Malaysia,
Yeah.
what would be the key technology that Malaysian researchers should focus on?
Okay. Okay. For the smart grid or Malaysian grid to be smart, we can focus at least two parameters here or two sectors here very nicely or still very potential, like the communication layer. This is on the soft skill. We can, though communication is not my field, but still the cyber security on the smart grid, there are a number of research are going on. We can focus on it to maintain. And in the power layer, we can, as because we have a huge PV potential or biomass potential, so renewable integration, even energy storage, how we can increase the PV related research integrated in the smart integrated into the grid in a smart way. So that could be one of the good research on the DER or distributed generators. At the moment we are saturated in power for conventional power, but in future definitely we have to reduce our, or by the time also we are reducing the conventional power, we are emphasizing or we are focusing on the renewable powers integration. So the integration parts, as I said, the integration parts not just one formula. It depends on the situation or on the behavior of this area of the grid or the microgrid. So there are a number of potentials are there to be developed. How we can integrate the renewables into the grid, like PV, like energy storage, like biomass power, because these are the Malaysian potential renewable sources. Not only the integration, with the integration, there are many research also we can focus, like we can focus the market analysis. We can focus at the end, very end, sociology. So what is the social environment? We can focus a lot of optimize AI there, AI techniques to make our system or integration or calculation or monitoring to be robust. So the AI part we can focus also in our bottom power sector, the power application layer, and also in the communication layer. Definitely in the application layer, days going on, new applications is coming. Existing application, we can make it robust. So we can modify this thing. We can improve some DER, for example, demand response model. At the moment, what we have, we can still improve the demand response model, considering many issues. We can still improve the AMI, the smart meter we have. So this many research we can conduct still actually.
All right, Prof. Next question will be, in your opinion, which organization should lead and fund the research activities for the Smart Grid initiative?
Thank you. Thank you. We need some fund from the organizations. Okay, so from my view or point of view, this is a nation's agenda. This is not just a sectoral agenda or sister concern agenda. As because energy is one of the vital point for the, if I relate this thing with the SDG, yeah, Sustainable Development Goal. So energy, one of the vital point for the nation to be sustainable. That's why the Energy Commission supposed to have some energy policy. Energy policy time to time supposed to review it, because many features are coming at the moment. As I said, grid, we have a grid roadmap, but I'm not sure whether energy storage is included over there or not. That's why they going on time to time. We have to evaluate it whether latest or new features are already considered. That's why Energy Commission have to have some legislation or some policy to develop the energy sector, like roadmaps, like the energy policy. Just now I said the building energy policy, building energy management policy, or zero carbon building energy policy. So this is some policy have to come from the energy commission or the ministry. Yeah, this is the government's first wing. Then second, also some energy related ministry also can be involved there, like for the fundamental research or even applied research, or together Ministry of Higher Education can join together. They are joining. In fact, they are giving huge project related to energy. And finally, the TNB, even the IPP. Yeah, IPP, we have a number, 50% IPP generate power, more than 50%, I think, at the moment, power generating from the IPP. So individual power producer also have to have some research or some relation to develop their power when they're supplying to the grid and how people are accepting this. So they have to have some also thinking or research for their power. So it's a joint program, I think. The utility, like or the main utility, TNB, they are focusing on many things for O&M, operation and maintenance. Also, they have some future research project. And for me, also TNB have to take some initiative for further like 10-15 years, what's supposed to do, like soft skill development for a smart grid, for power sectors, they can think about. So Energy Commission, then Ministry of Higher Education, related ministries, and TNB, IPP, jointly we can focus for the grid power dissemination, management, and other enabling factors to make our grid, what we have electrical grid, to be smart. So this is not just TNB, and I cannot say not just Energy Commission. So it's a altogether efforts.
All right, Prof. We're going to take another one or two question, Prof. So next is, in terms of design of smart grid, is it combined system of power and communication? How this application would be regulated, especially in Malaysia?
Yeah, I think in meantime, okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. I think in meantime, there are some already test bed there for smart grid or microgrid. So as I said, can just again please question.
Okay, in terms of design of smart grid,
okay, design.
It is combined system of power and communication. How this application would be regulated?
Yeah. So as we know that the grid supposed to be called smart with the power application, with the communication and the applications. Yeah, means generation, transmission, and distribution will be touched by the communication. It's a smart grid is a individual, not individual. It's a combined project of the sources to the consumer side. Of course, in between the communication is there. In between the communication, because IR4, then most of the things are now computerized, digitized. Yeah, digitized. So communication is there. So who will handle the design, or how the design can convert? So definitely it's supposed to have a system. Maybe at the moment is utility like TNB is controlling the designing for the smart grid. But in future, I show the pyramid. Remember the pyramid. In future, the DER, for example, one of the IPP, they have only one small PV power plant generating 5 megawatt PV. They also have to be involved in designing their perspective for smart grid. So I still the same way it will be the joint collaboration of the design, power sector, communication sector, and also the application sector.
All
Is
right,
it okay?
Okay. We have last two questions. It's all about reliability, Prof.
Yeah, please.
One, do you have a reliable locally designed battery management system for 1000 Li on cell series?
I don't have at the moment because I'm not working on the reliability. I'm working on the battery for especially for some features on charging, discharging, and SOC maintenance.
Okay.
And in future, of course, at the moment I don't have reliability model how we can measure the reliability, but there are so many literature. Of course, it has. Of course, it has so many literature. We can find some model to test individual battery, what it has, its reliability, how much its reliability. I think this is possible. It's possible, but I don't have exactly because in my project like energy storage, battery energy storage, EV, at the moment I didn't map the reliability. I just find some efficiency and other parameters.
Oh, okay. So that for the reliability aspect, it is for smart grid equipment or smart grid system or both?
It's both. It's both because it's a. Of course, we need the instrument or the end type devices. We have to have reliability over there. Of course, we have to reliability of the controlling device. That's why software defined radio or software defined smart grid is in. Software defined smart grid is in because we know one of the device, for example, AMI or smart meter. Smart meter at the moment working, they have some inbuilt some algorithm. Based on the algorithm, it is transceiving the data. It receiving the data from some side, transmitting data to other side. So it transmitting the data. We want reliable online real-time data, right? So after some time, if we notice that the smart grid is not working properly, so we can change this thing. We can change not reliable enough. Then we can change the program. That's why software defined smart grid is coming. We can change the program on the smart grid processor and it will work as new. So we don't have to change the whole system. We just have to change or modify it or improve the soft skill part, the processing part. So that is the reliability issue. We know after some time using of any device, it lost its reliability, decreasing, yeah, efficiency decreasing. So still we can use this thing. That's why smart grid software or algorithms part is there. I think.
All right,
We can
Prof. Last question, Prof.
Please.
How about research on smart grid to support inter-countries connectivity issues?
Okay, so this is, I don't find literature for the inter-countries, but we know I know some grids there, they are connecting European Union countries. They have developed some roadmap. So to follow the what's supposed to be the grid from Norway to Finland, so Germany to other related. So they have already there. In Malaysia, I can see this is not about the smart grid, but we have another feature here, HVDC transmission, also part of the grid. So among the ASEAN countries, we have some policy already developed how we can relate our grid with the ASEAN countries like Singapore, Vietnam, Myanmar, not Myanmar, Thailand, and other countries, yeah, Cambodia. So this is still planning level. I think 2-3 years back or 5 years back, they have developed one sitting stage 1, still in planning level. So I don't know exactly for Malaysia how we can connect our grid with internationally or other countries. But the planning are in process, I think. It's because Europe, they have already there. Even in Australia, they have a different state. They have state every state they have their own distribution transmission system, so they are integrated to others. So they are also, if you can consider the other by countries or by state, still they have some examples there. So for Malaysia, I don't know exactly, but we can follow some standard for the European Union. Even we can see about our HVDC, high voltage DC transmission system, what is their planning, so we can initiate similar kind of internationally, or the ASEAN region, how we can interconnect it our grid smart way, considering many features. Is it okay?
Okay, Prof. Thank you, Prof. We have come to the conclusion of today's events.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to the distinguished guests and participants for this event become successful. Also to the our co-organizer, Mike and UNIDO. Without them, we cannot realize this program. It has been a great day and a wonderful event with the presence of all of you. Thank you all. See you next talk show.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay.